All right, let's talk about something we all deal with, procrastination. We're going to pull back the curtain on the real science of why our brains sometimes feel like our own worst enemy. And more importantly, we're going to figure out what we can actually do about it. Okay, tell me if this sounds familiar. You wake up, you've got your coffee, you have a solid plan to be super productive. But then you blink and somehow it's 11 o'clock at night and you're now a world-renowned expert on the mating habits of the anglerfish. Yeah, we've all been there. If that hits a little too close to home, I really need you to hear this next part. The problem is not a character flaw. It's not that you lack willpower. And let me say it again for the people in the back. You are not lazy. So if it's not about being lazy, then what in the world is going on? Well, we're about to get to the big aha moment. Seriously, this one idea changes everything about how you think about procrastination. Here it is. This quote from psychologist Dr. Fusha Sorois absolutely nails it. Procrastination is not about being lazy. It is about managing emotions. Let that sink in for a second. It has nothing to do with being productive and everything to do with our feelings. This totally flips the script, right? For years, we've all been told, oh, just get a better planner, as if it's a time management problem. But the science is clear. Nope, it's an emotion regulation problem. We're not trying to manage our clock, we're trying to manage our discomfort. So really, procrastination is just a coping mechanism. It's our brain's simple go-to strategy for hitting the escape hatch on any task that makes us feel bad, whether that's boredom, anxiety, insecurity, you name it. It's just a quick getaway from unpleasant feelings.
But why is that escape hatch so tempting? Why is it so powerful? Well, to understand that, we've got to take a look at this little battle that wages inside our heads every single time we face a task we rather not do.
What's really happening is basically a hijacking. It's your immediate emotional brain staging a full-on coup against your logical planning brain. And trust me, it is not a fair fight. Okay, so let's meet the two players in this fight. In one corner, you've got your limbic system. Think of it like your inner toddler. It just wants to feel good right now, and it's screaming, this is stressful, let's do something fun. And in the other corner, you have the adult in the room, your prefrontal cortex, which is calmly saying, hey, we really should get this done, it's important. In the heat of the moment, who do you think wins? Yeah, it's usually the screaming toddler. And this is the trap. See, giving in feels good for a second. You get that hit of relief. But it's almost immediately followed by guilt and stress. And that guilt makes you feel even worse about the task, which, of course, makes you want to avoid it even more. It's a nasty, vicious cycle. Okay, so that's the why. That's the problem. But here's the good news. Now that we actually understand the enemy, we have the power to fight back. So let's get into the how. We're talking a whole toolkit of practical, science-backed strategies designed to deal with the emotions, not just the clock. First up, the 2-minute rule. It's so simple. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, just do it immediately. No thinking, just do it. For those bigger, scarier tasks, the rule is to just commit to working on it for only 2 minutes. The goal isn't to finish, it's just to start. See, the hardest part is getting over that initial resistance, what scientists call activation energy. 2 minutes is so small, you can basically sneak it past your brain's panic button. Next up, a really cool idea called temptation bundling. You basically pair something you're avoiding with something you really love to do. For example, you only let yourself listen to your favorite podcast while you're doing the laundry. You're pretty much just bribing your emotional brain with an immediate reward to get the job done. And you know what? It works. You've probably heard of this next one and is a classic for a reason, the Pomodoro technique. You work in a super focused sprint for 25 minutes and then you take a 5-minute break. That's it. The magic here is what it does for your emotions. Your brain doesn't freak out about some huge, endless task because it knows a guaranteed break, a little moment of relief, is always right around the corner. And finally, we have the eat the frog method. Your frog is your biggest, ugliest, most dreaded task of the day. The strategy is simple. Tackle it first. Get it out of the way. Why? Because the dread of that task casts a shadow over your entire day. By eating that frog first thing, you get rid of that source of anxiety, and the rest of your day just feels lighter and way easier. Now, all the strategies are great. They're super effective, but they become like 10 times more powerful when you pair them with one final crucial shift in your mindset. This is the glue that holds it all together. This is so important. When you procrastinate, and you will, because we're human, the absolute worst thing you can do is beat yourself up. All that criticism just piles on more negative feelings, which actually makes you more likely to procrastinate again. The most effective response, according to the research, self-compassion. Just acknowledge the feeling, forgive yourself, and focus on the very next small step. So if you only take one thing away from all this, let it be this. To truly beat procrastination, you have to stop focusing on the to-do list and start addressing the underlying feeling. Just ask yourself, what emotion am I trying to avoid right now? Naming it is the first step to taming it. With that in mind, I want to leave you with a question. Forget about finishing the whole giant project. What is one tiny 2-minute action you can take on something you've been avoiding right now? And I'll leave you with this fantastic quote. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal isn't to have it all figured out. The goal is just to begin.